Well, Indiana's second chance law allows Hoosiers to get their criminal records expunged with some exceptions. On tonight's Unfiltered, Professor Carrie Hagan from the IU McKinney School of Law explains how the process works. Carrie, good to see you. So what exactly, for the folks at home who maybe aren't aware, what exactly is the second chance law?
So the second chance law was a series of legislative enactments that happened around 2013. We had expungement in Indiana previously, but this was like a complete package. So what it does is it has 5 categories, basically, of things that folks can expunge. And so that's how we refer to them anyway in practice. First category deals with anything that shows up on your record that might be an arrest, where charges weren't filed, cases that are dismissed, or cases where you might have been found not guilty. And then categories 2 through 5 deal with being able to expunge misdemeanors and higher level felonies. And so it's a legislative approved process where folks can petition courts to allow them to expunge crimes that fall into those categories.
Okay, so a lot of questions about this. How does it work? And does it work?
Yeah, so those are both really good questions. And so how it works is that for any category that one is seeking to file, you have to meet certain requirements. You have to have a certain amount of time pass, and you also have to have any outstanding fines and fees on any of the cases that you're seeking to expunge paid off. And so in the years that we've been doing this, that I've been practicing, a lot of people are stopped by those barriers. Not enough time may have passed, or they don't have fines and fees paid off. And it's more often than not the latter. They owe hundreds to thousands of dollars that they need to pay off. Yeah. It does work. So in Indiana, I guess just to give you some terminology, when we talk about expungement, what we're really talking about is access. And so sometimes when folks think of expungement, it's destroying or sealing, and that's not technically correct in Indiana. It still gets rid of it, but it's about who has access to it. The public does not have access to it. Certain federal agencies will always have access to information, such as the FBI, but it does take it away from public view so that there are only a certain amount of agencies that have access to that information.
So if a potential employer was to do a background check, it wouldn't come up?
It wouldn't, as long as it's not one of the 2 higher categories of serious felonies. And I'll explain what that means. So again, the first category, arrest, dismissed cases, charges where nothing really happened. Misdemeanors and low-level felonies, F6 or D felonies, those are automatically sealed or limited access by the court when they're filed. Courts cannot argue with getting rid of those lower-level crimes. Higher-level felonies, felonies with and without serious bodily injury, you can still expunge those, but it's up to the court whether or not to allow it, as well as the prosecutor for the most serious type, and they still show up as marked as expunged. So that's a really difficult conversation we have to have with our clients a lot of the time, because if it still shows up as marked as expunged, what is the point, right?
Right. So I don't want to bring politics in it, but unfortunately, that's where we are right now. And, you know, we had this recent conversation going on with the president changing the federal law and basically leaving it up to the states. And then Governor Eric Holcomb comes out and says, hey, we're not going to do that. We do have this second chance law on the books. Your thoughts on that?
So it's kind of ironic to me in a way that we have, I think, one of the most progressive expungement laws in the United States. And there are 19 other states, I think, including Guam, which I know is a territory, that have already decriminalized marijuana. And so for us to sort of tout this revolutionary, expansive, progressive expungement law, but then not follow public opinion, right, and public policy and sort of the path that other states have taken seems a little hypocritical to me. And so while I appreciate that we have this mechanism within our state to clear folks' records because it does work, give them pathways to better jobs and housing, to still kind of let this small offense stick around just because of the political party one might belong to seems like a shame.
Carrie Hagan, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And Professor Hagan is the director of the Civil Practice Clinic at the IU McKinney School of Law. It provides legal help to low-income individuals navigate the expungement process as well as other civil law matters.